So, what kind of solid food can a 6-month-old baby be eating? Yes, your baby is still getting nutrition from infant milk, that's breast milk or formula, at this stage, but it is important to be including some solid foods too in the weaning diet. In this video, I'll share what a typical feeding schedule might look like when you're starting solid foods at around the 6-month mark. And if you're curious about how to manage working solid foods into that nice milk feeding and nap schedule situation that you currently have going on, we're going to cover that too. Hi, I'm Katie Ferraro. I'm a registered dietitian and mom of 7. I specialize in infant feeding and baby-led weaning. Now, when you're just starting out with solid foods, your baby isn't actually eating that much at the beginning, right? It's because babies need lots of time to figure out how to eat. And too often, we as the parents, the caregivers, we're stressed out about how much they're getting or which foods am I even supposed to be offering. For early eaters, please remember that practice makes progress. So, at around the 6 and 7 month mark, we like to see babies eating solid foods 1 to 2 times per day. In my program, Baby-Led Weaning with Katie Ferraro, I walk parents through the first phase of starting solid foods. So this is phase 1 of Baby-Led Weaning, and it occupies the first 8 weeks after you start solid foods. And in phase 1, your baby goes through their first 40 foods. Okay, we do 1 new food a day. We do that 5 days a week. Okay, and I want to show you how you can pick which foods your baby eats and then how you layer those foods and those feedings into your daily schedule when you're just starting solid foods. So let's take a look. If you're trying to figure out which 5 foods per week your baby will eat, the easiest way to pick the 5 new foods to ensure diet diversity and to get an adequate nutrient mix is to follow my 5-step feeding framework. I've introduced this framework elsewhere in the program, but real quick, I designed it to help families get through 5 foods a week. It works like this. If you look at that 100 first foods list, it's divided into 5 food categories. There's fruits, vegetables, starchy foods, protein, and allergenic foods. Each of the 5 food categories has 20 foods in it. There's a total of 100 foods. Now, following this framework, you pick 1 food from each of those 5 categories each week, doing a new fruit on Monday, a new vegetable on Tuesday, a new starchy food on Wednesday, a new protein food on Thursday, and a new allergenic food on Friday. You do the allergenic food 2 times on Friday, 2 times on Saturday, 2 times on Sunday. Lots of exposures, but no other new foods across the weekend. But you can include familiar foods from previous days in the weekend meals. Now, I know you might be wondering, wait, is that new food that my baby eats each day, is that the only food that the baby eats in the day? The answer is no, okay? Because you're going to be doing the new food on its own for 10 minutes in the meal, and then you do a second 10 minutes with a plate that has the 1 new food and the 2 familiar foods. If you're following my 100 First Foods daily meal plan, the menu pattern's already sorted out for you. Week by week, there's 20 weeks worth of meal plans that are provided. You can go to the 100 First Foods daily meal plan section of this program, and you can follow that track. Once you get to actually offering your baby 1 new food per day, 5 days per week, you might be wondering, well, how much food is my baby going to eat? One thing you'll notice in this program is that there are no portion guides. I'm not up here saying, oh, your baby needs to have 2 ounces of legumes and a half a cup of vegetables X number of times a day, okay? And that's because there's no data to support infant portion guides or portion sizes. All fabricated preset portion sizes do is they just make you feel bad when your baby doesn't eat that arbitrarily assigned exact amount of food. So when it comes to how much food your baby will eat, it's gonna vary, okay? Some days they won't touch a food. And you're gonna bring that same meal back after a nap and then they're gonna go to town on it. A food your baby loved yesterday, they'll loathe today. There's no rhyme or reason, so don't beat yourself up about it. Whenever you're feeling discouraged that your baby isn't eating or you're worried that they're not getting enough, just remember Ellen Satter's division of responsibility in feeding theory. Our job as parents and caregivers, we're responsible for what the baby eats, where the baby eats, and when the baby eats. But your baby is ultimately in charge of how much or even whether they eat. It's not your job to make your baby eat. It's the baby's job to decide and determine how much or even whether they eat. Okay, but if we go back to your list of jobs, what the baby eats, that's on there. Okay, and you're using the 100 First Foods list, you're using the 5-step feeding framework to pick the foods, but how much do you offer? It's kind of a crapshoot. Nobody knows. Just keep the portion small, okay, because your baby's stomach is small. Some days they'll eat all that and want more. Observe for their cues, respond appropriately with more food if you have it. Some days they're not going to touch it. Don't force your baby to eat. Okay, if they're not into it, try that same meal later in the day, maybe after a nap or a bottle or breastfeeding session. What we don't want to do is we don't want to drip food. Dripping food is where you put a piece of food out and the baby picks it up. And then they eat it, and then you decide, I'm going to put another piece of food out now. And then they pick it up, and then they eat it, and so on and so forth. This is not baby-led weaning. Okay, that is parent-led feeding, because you, the parent, are determining the pace at which the baby eats the food. Instead of dripping the baby's food, do your best to pre-portion it. Use your best judgment to determine how much you think your baby might eat, knowing that it's perfectly fine and expected even for you to totally misgauge what they're going to do. This is new to you too, okay? But again, try to observe for your baby's hunger and their fullness cues and respond to them. Okay, hunger or even just interest in food cues, these are things like the baby reaching for the food, playing with the food, smashing with the food, any sort of engagement with the food. Fullness or disinterest cues, these are things like fussing or crying or turning physically away from the food. Please remember that your baby who's in phase 1 of baby-led weaning, they don't have the skill set yet to capably use food to alleviate feelings of hunger. If your baby's hungry, infant milk is always your go-to nourishment to get them feeling happy and peaceful and satiated. It's going to be a couple of weeks and even months later until your baby can use food to make the feelings of what I call casual hunger go away. Okay, but right now they need lots of time to learn how to eat. So even if you don't think anything is happening at mealtime, okay, or you're just worried like, oh my gosh, they're just sitting here like playing with the food, please know every opportunity your baby has is bringing them one step closer to becoming an independent eater. I want to show you a video real quick of a baby I worked with who was starting solid foods with baby-led weaning. This is baby Florence. She was quite precocious. She took a while to get into solid foods. The mom had had 2 significant choking instances with 2 of her older kids, so she was a little gun-shy about baby-led weaning for sure. Okay, but with this family, they stuck with doing the 5 new foods a week. Okay, and baby Florence ended up eating 100 foods before turning 1. She's almost 2 now, and their family just recently went on a trip to Japan, which is so cool. Her mom sent me this text about her daughter being an independent eater, and she showed me this video of her trying skewered octopus in Japan. And like, she wasn't bragging, she just clearly astonished at this 2-year-old's willingness to try a rubbery new food as a toddler. And that's in many parts due to the wide variety of foods that Florence was exposed to during that period when her flavor window was open as a baby. Here's a typical solid food feeding schedule that will work for a 6 or 7-month-old baby. Wake up and have infant milk. Do your regular nursing session or bottle feed, pretend like everything is normal, okay? Play, let the baby digest, give it at least an hour rest if you bottle feed, and then let's attempt some solid foods. Most babies can sit in their high chair for about 20 minutes. Your baby might not be there yet, but it's a good goal to work towards. After the meal, where they're not going to eat very much, do your thing until nap time, okay? And if that usually includes nursing or having another bottle, go for it. After nap 1, that's in the morning, okay, you can attempt meal 2. If you're not up for it yet, just do your regular infant milk feed and your playtime, and then put your baby down for nap 2. Wake up, have your regular infant milk feed. If you didn't do solid food meal number 2 yet, do that about an hour or so after the bottle feed. And if you didn't do solid food meal number 2 yet, do that about an hour or so, if it's bottle fed, after that milk feed that follows nap 2. So then play and go back down for nap 3 if there is still such a thing. Do your infant milk, and then if you still haven't done the second meal, you can try it now. Just don't do any potentially allergenic foods less than 2 hours before the nighttime bedtime. I want you to do your regular bedtime routine, do your bedtime nursing session or bottle feed. Hopefully your baby's going to be sleeping through the night, and then guess what? You can wake up and do it all again tomorrow. So in summary, a typical 6-month schedule, here's another way of looking at it. After waking up, either in the morning or after your baby naps, I want you to find 1 to 2 times each day where you can fit solid foods in about an hour after a bottle feed ends, okay, or after your baby is satisfied from a nursing session. So it could look like this. Wake up in the morning, infant milk feed. Wait an hour, solid food meal number 1. Play, nap number 1. Wake up, infant milk feed. Wait an hour, solid food meal number 2. This is optional. Play, go down for the second nap. Wake up, infant milk feed. Wait an hour. You can do solid food meal number 2 here if you didn't do it earlier, but this is optional. Play, go down for nap 3. Wake up, infant milk feed. Wait an hour, solid food meal number 2 if you haven't already done it. Play, do your bedtime milk feed, go to bed. Try not to skip days trying solid foods if you can, and don't stress that your baby isn't eating very much early on. I know that starting solid food can be confusing and overwhelming. Heck, your baby is going from the 6-month mark where 100% of their nutrition is coming from infant milk, and you're moving them to where at the 12-month mark, most of their nutrition can be coming from solid foods. Okay, but your baby doesn't wake up on their first birthday and magically know how to eat 100 different foods. Practice makes progress. And as a dietitian specializing in infant feeding and baby-led weaning, I am here to help you make real food safe so that your baby does get to that 1-year mark and most of their nutrition will be coming from food. so that you don't have to short order cook for your kid or deal with picky eating down the road. Because babies can eat so many more foods than we give them credit for. And if you're looking for step-by-step instructions on how to safely start solid foods with baby-led weaning, my comprehensive online program is called Baby-Led Weaning with Katie Ferraro, and it is the solution for you. This is an expert-led, proven approach to help your baby learn to eat real food. The program is packed with video trainings to help you master baby-led weaning, along with meal plans, feeding schedule, shopping list, recipes, videos, and instruction for preparing over 100 safe foods for your baby's current age and stage. And when you join the Baby-Led Weaning with Katie Ferraro program, you also get access to my 100 First Foods daily meal plan, so you're never going to have to worry about which food to feed your baby next. You can sign up and get started today at babyledweaning.co/program or click the link in the video description to learn more, and happy feeding.